I had tinnitus for years, and this is what actually changed everything. So I've had tinnitus for a long time. My second relapse with it was 2020. COVID was full kicking, and everyone was in a very emotional place, and that's when tinnitus reared its ugly head for the second time in my life. Now, before that, I was already, I would say, naturally habituated. Like I didn't have to do anything to habituate. Like I freaked out about it like once, but for whatever reason, I woke up the next day and I went on about my life. That was like the first time I had experienced the tinnitus, you know, the panic sensations. But for whatever reason, it's like I just like habituated in one night or so. I don't even know. It was really weird. But the second time it is when I really felt the weight of the bothersome aspect of tinnitus. Like I really felt the trapped, hellish, nightmarish. This is gonna last forever. This is never gonna change. I experienced all of it. And here's when it actually changed for me. I remember reading something about how it was like Stoic philosophy or something. It wasn't even medical. It was like about how we can't change, we can't like stop a lot of bad things that happen to us. We can't change a lot of bad things that happen to us, but the only thing we can change is internally how we process that and how we respond to it. And I remember reading that and I was thinking like that makes a lot of sense. Like there's so much in life I can't stop. I don't even know how much of life I'm even in control of. I don't think we even choose our own thoughts. They're like subconscious if you read a Carl Jung. So it's like, so then why am I trying to fight something that I can't control? And then I thought, if this happened to me, it probably happened to other people, and there's probably a way out. And I read online how there's no cures, you just have to live with it. And I remember like thinking that there has to be more to this story. Like if this problem happened to me from like an ear infection, it probably happened to other people too. So I started researching, but and when I was researching, I came across the horror stories. I came across and I came across this thing called habituation, and I was like, well, that sounds nice, but I didn't believe it. I don't know, it sounded too mystical for me. I wasn't into Eastern philosophy, Eastern medicine. I wasn't in. I wanted like a pill. I wanted something like a surgery, something like that was concrete. And I couldn't find anything. I mean, there was like supplements, and I bought an ear ringing supplement at Kroger's. So I bought one, but it was cheap. It was like $40 or something. It had a bunch of supplements, a bunch of vitamins, didn't work. But I couldn't believe they were selling that at Kroger. But anyway, and then I realized I was like, okay, the only way to actually solve this is to go back to the philosophy of not trying to control it because I can't control it. And so that's when I started to journal. That's when I started to meditate. And there weren't any tinnitus meditations, there weren't any tinnitus apps, there weren't any thought reframers. I had to do it all manually. This was back even before like GPT. Back before I even knew about it, right? So like GPT couldn't help you with writing a recovery statement or anything like that. But so basically, I started to practice these like meditation and thought reframing and journaling and all this stuff. I started to practice it daily, and I started noticing that over like time, I was less aware of the ringing, like little bit. It was very like subtle at first. And I also noticed too that the day became more bearable. And before the day felt unbearable. It felt like I can't get through this day. I didn't even want to get out of bed. And then, I felt like once I got through the day, at the end of the day, I could look back the next day and say, oh, I got through that day yesterday. It was hard at first, but once I got up, got moving, maybe play a little sound masking to help take the edge off, did some meditations, I got through the day. And so when I began to stack my wins after practicing everything that I was, learning, all the stuff, really with no one showing me, I noticed that life just started to get easier with the tinnitus. And that's when the big shift changes, because I was like, if I can not notice it just a little bit, like 1%, I could probably expand that into like 100% and just pretty much go back to silence, right? And I stopped focusing on the sound itself, and I started focusing on the wins, like the wins I would get, like how good I would feel getting through the day. And long story short, over months and years, I expanded that little 1% to 100% of the time, and here I am. Never bothered by it. Now I'm helping people, and I took everything, everything I practiced, I put it into an app called tinnitus.health, so you can walk the same steps. It takes time. You have to stay consistent. It's not quick, but you can get the same results. So if you want a free trial of that, click the link below, and I'll put a pinned comment below. Again, I like reading all of the comments. Love reading all the comments. I appreciate this community so much. Thank you so much for your support. And make sure to share this video and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.